All right, thank you everyone for coming here today. I'm Representative Ron Nate from District 34. It covers Madison and Bonneville counties. Okay, I'm told to speak closer to the mic. I'm tall and it's a problem. Okay, the world is a bit hysterical these days. There's a palatable fear about a virus and about public health, and there's also a fear about what government is doing about it and what government is doing to our rights and our liberties. We must prevent fear from destroying freedom. People should not be forced into medical decisions they are not comfortable with, especially when it's an experimental vaccine, or should I say gene therapy, or should I say emergency youth authorized only treatment. The Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is well known in the Declaration, but the next phrase is sometimes forgotten, that to secure these rights, governments were instituted among men. Government absolutely has a role to play in protecting individual human rights and your right to privacy. The legislature must convene before August ends to consider legislation for protecting worker rights in making medical decisions for themselves without discrimination or threats from losing their jobs, and for respecting and protecting the privacy of workers from intrusion by their employers. It is wrong for hospitals and other employers to require a COVID vaccine and/or discriminate against the unvaccinated for many reasons. One, it's a privacy issue. Businesses cannot ask you everything about your life. They cannot ask a woman if she's on birth control. Why should they be able to ask you if you're vaccinated or not? The COVID vaccine is still under emergency use authorization. To me, that says experimental. You might interpret it any way you want, but it hasn't been fully approved by the FDA. It's regressive bargaining for an employer to suddenly require you to have a vaccination that you had no idea about when you took the job. In fact, just a few months ago, some of these hospitals had assured their employees that they would not be required to take the vaccine. I'm sure some of those employees made long-term decisions based on those assurances. Now they're being told something else. That's not right. I've received lots of emails from citizens across the state. Some of the most heartbreaking ones are from those who work in the healthcare industry, saying that they love their jobs, they love their families, they need to provide for their families, but now they're being asked to try a vaccine that may or may not work, that may or may not harm them, and that they will have no recourse for liability if something happens to them. That's not right. That's not America. The legislature must convene before August ends to consider legislation for protecting worker rights and privacy. This is more than employers and employees. This is consumers. This is students. These are family members. This is people going to government to get services. Could be veterans and disabled. All sorts of restrictions can be applied if we start allowing it to happen in one area. This is about human rights and individual rights and privacy. Our rights come from God. Our Constitution protects our rights. But good men and women like these joining me here on the steps today are here to defend the Constitution and therefore protect our rights to freedom and privacy. We have rights, we will protect them. I ask everyone here to call your representatives and senators and tell them two things. Tell them, number one, they must demand action from Speaker Scott Bedke to call the House back from recess so we can consider legislation. And also tell them that voters will hold them accountable to their decisions here. People have rights, we will protect them. I want to turn the mic over to our esteemed Lieutenant Governor and perhaps our next Governor of the state of Idaho, Janice McGeachin.
Thank you for those opening remarks, Representative Nate. Welcome to all the members of the media that are here today and to the citizens, the great citizens of the state of Idaho, for being here to stand up for our rights. I want to share with you just this past weekend, I was back home in Idaho Falls, and we had our annual Bonneville County Republican Lincoln banquet, and I bought a challenge coin from them, and on the back of the challenge coin it says, 2021, the year that we fight back. Right? We're fighting back because we're sick and tired of these government mandates. It doesn't matter what level they come from. We're sick and tired of these mandates, these violations of our individual freedoms and rights. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote a formal request to the Speaker of the House. It wasn't a demand, as some have characterized it. It was a request asking him to respectfully bring back the legislature, the House of Representatives, so that we can address this issue. That was 2 weeks ago. Here we are today. The clock is ticking. We have 4 weeks left before Idahoans are going to be forced.
2 days left. 4 weeks isn't soon enough.
You're right. We shouldn't even be in this place where we are today, but we are here. A suggestion to the Speaker as a reason to come back. I was listening to a podcast just the other day. The definition of vaccine in our state code is different than the vaccine that's being circulated for the COVID-19 today. Just that small, simple thing is a good enough reason for the legislature to come back into session. And I think that our healthcare professionals may not recognize what a big issue this is. Also, over the weekend, I was speaking to a pilot that works for one of these healthcare facilities, and he has no intention of getting the vaccine. And so today, I call on the Speaker of the House, I call on these healthcare facilities to withdraw their demand that violates our right on this vaccination that many people are afraid of. If you want the vaccination, you get it. But if you don't want it for whatever reason, religious, personal, whatever reason, don't get it. And we're all here today to stand with you and to protect you against these egregious violations of our rights as Idaho citizens. I want to thank and applaud and recognize my colleagues in the House of Representatives for being here today, and they will report on the status of some of their members in the House. I also heard a senator on the radio just last week say that the governor couldn't call the legislature back into session because he agreed that the House is at recess. And so all the Speaker has to do is call the House back, and within 3 days, the Senate must follow. So to my friends in the legislature, I applaud you, and we stand with you, and we will continue to fight to protect your individual liberties and rights. God bless you, and God bless America.
I'm Representative Tammy Nichols from District 11, and I just want to echo what my colleagues have said, but also to add on that 53 members of the House voted in May to stay in session because we knew there would probably be issues coming down the road that we would need to address. The legislature has been hearing from our constituents regarding major issues regarding their employment and their ability to make the decisions on their own. They do not want to play Russian roulette with their lives in order to maintain their jobs. The majority of the House caucus are requesting this issue be addressed. The only way to address this issue is to reconvene the session so that we can discuss the serious threats that are transpiring to our individual freedoms. Again, this is why the House only recessed. We do not play games with wording to confuse our constituents with yet to be passed laws. The fact is the House is still in a regular session, and we are simply asking to reconvene to address these very serious issues of individual liberty and control over one's body autonomy. We are sorry that some of the chairmen and legislatures don't understand this necessity, but we do, and we are asking for this today. Please do contact your representatives, and please contact Speaker Bedke and ask nicely that we reconvene and that we discuss the issues that are currently at hand. Again, that is why we did not sine die. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I agree with my colleagues, so eloquently put. by our Lieutenant Governor, and also Representative Nate really nailed it. One thing I want to bring up from a different perspective is I keep hearing about private and public entities, and they keep saying that the hospitals are private and they can do whatever they want. Well, I went and looked at the assessor's records for our hospitals. For some reason, in 2016, they were paying taxes for those properties. In 2017, they were not. That means you all are picking up their share of those taxes. That now makes it public. So someone can come and dispute that with me. I'd like to have that discussion. But until that point, you are putting that tax money to cover them, and that makes it public. So keep that in your minds as you call your representatives, and if you call Speaker Bedke, that the hospitals do not have a right to do this to you as sovereign citizens. So thank you, and again, contact everybody that you need to. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Representative Carrie Hanks. I'm in the eastern part of the state, but I've been receiving those emails as well. Some of you may know I attempted with my colleagues to get the mask mandate prohibition pushed. And we passed with an overwhelming majority, veto-proof majority in the House, went to the Senate, crashed. They wouldn't even hear it in a committee. So we had mask mandates, we've got vaccine mandates. What is next? We've got to push back, and I appreciate all of you showing up today because we can't do it alone. We've got to have lots and lots of pushback from our grassroots, and that's who you are, and you are vital to us getting anything done. So thank you for being here. Appreciate that.
That's a different press conference. Hey, we're being medically harassed in our workplace. Oh, there you go. Thank you. That's all I've got. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. My name is Representative Judy Boyle. I am over by Hells Canyon is where my district is. I want to thank all of you for being here, especially the healthcare workers. You guys were there for us, and now we're trying to be here for you. Please call your representatives. The Senate sine died, the House did not. We are only at recess. This is not a special session. This is just going back into session to finish our business, which we did not get to do because of the Senate. So we're not doing this for campaign purposes. We're doing this to do the right thing for the state of Idaho. So thank all of you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. I'm Senator Christy Zito. I'm the lone senator here, so I decided I would go last because I want y'all to understand that there were two of us in the Senate who did not vote to sine die, and we have your backs, both of us. We're here for you. I just want to take a minute and point out that, you know, healthcare workers are one of those very essential parts of our world where we live. You take care of us. When we're at our very worst moments, you're there for us. But what I'd like to point out is if we have a healthcare system where the administrators and the owners of those systems don't care any more about those people who work for them than to force them into deciding between their constitutional right to make a living, to own property, to take care of their families, are they going to care any more about those of us who are going to go there looking for healthcare at some point? We have to ask ourselves that question. Where will this line be drawn? And not only that, when they're done with you, they're going to come after us. We're going to have the vaccine to do commerce, to buy groceries, to go anywhere, to travel, whatever. You're only the beginning. And I want you to know that we do have your back. Another thing that I want to point out is I, for the life of me, do not understand why an organization like St. Luke's or St. Al's have the power to determine if my religious exemption is valid or not. That's between me and my God. That has nothing to do with any government entity or any private entity. That is my religious belief, and I think it is criminal for them to think that they can decide whether I have the right to claim that exemption or not.
Business.
Exactly.
Criminal.
It is criminal. I believe it's criminal. I really do. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Be sure and continue to call Scott Bedke and let him know that if he's got time to have what's going on in this building today at the cost payer's expense, I'm told it's over $100,000 so far. I want you to know that there are 3 legal counsel sitting there for the House side. Somebody's paying for that, and I don't know, but I would bet that it's your tax dollars. We can go back into session to protect the citizens of the state of Idaho.
Thank you all again for coming. We do have handouts that include the letters from the representatives about standing up for calling the legislature back from recess so that we can handle these issues and protect all citizens in their rights and their freedoms.
Where's Wadston on this? Where's the Attorney General? What's his opinion? What's he doing? Is he doing anything?
I don't know. Where's Wasden? It sounds like where's Waldo? I don't know on this. So let's, all right. We're going to bring this to an end. Stay strong, people. Call your representatives and senators, and let's get this done. Thank you.